the 1980s. I live in Nairobi, Kenya. The only media I was consuming was American media. We were dancing to Michael Jackson, to Lionel Richie. We were doing breakdance. My sister and I were getting ourselves into trouble because we were wearing miniskirts, short-sleeved clothes and so on. My father wasn't there. My mother was absolutely appalled by all of that. And there was no media other than that. The other media delivered the news, and the news was bad. The news was always about this clan attacking that clan, civil wars here and there. And we had people from the Iranian embassy come to our school. They were giving us, so you have to imagine, this is Africa where we barely have anything to eat, and we're teenagers. We never left a morsel of food on the plate. That's how hungry we were. And they bring these spreads, these buffets. So as kids, we were obviously hugely attracted to this. They brought us clothes, they brought us money, etc., etc. So shortly after, I found myself becoming a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, or so I thought. I was a Sunni, so I couldn't advertise for the Shia. Anti-Semitism came very, very strongly. So again, Somali girl living in Africa, in Kenya, and we are just really covered in the propaganda of hating Jews. There were no Jews around us. I think the first time I saw a Jew, it was in 1995, and it was in the Netherlands. I went to Antwerp, and I thought, Jew, help. There were no Jews around, but I hated them intensely before I came without knowing. So that was a type of media experience I had. And what I find striking about my past, and then I reflect also on the past of my classmates as teenagers, young adults, is that we had not been familiarized with a critical attitude towards ideas. So people could bring you any kind of propaganda and you would simply buy into it. They find poor teenagers, they feed them, they clothe them, they give them an interesting utopian idea, and they mobilize them. And they took over the mosques, they took over the streets, they took over our parents, who were just regular Muslims. My mother was a regular illiterate Muslim, but she loved it when my brother and the other boys were taken off the streets, where they had dropped out of school. They might have gone into drugs and things like that, and they were taken into the mosque. She loved that. So I think if we go back and we say, Ayaan, what have you learned from this period? That's exactly what we need to do. We need to be paying attention to what is happening within families and schools and on the street, in poor countries, in rich countries. And as they bring on their own media, I guess we have to develop our own media. I think we have the opportunity of the internet, which we didn't have back then. And I think we need to find new alliances and coalitions. So once upon a time, I was an authentic Islamist. I understand the key principles of Islamism. I subscribed to them. I was burning Salman Rushdie's book. And then gradually and freely, I embraced the ideas of classical liberalism. So I would say to the Saudis now, and to anyone else who's making that journey, either on a regime level, mid-level, or on the individual level, have you made that journey? Are there basic principles that we agree on, and then base our negotiations on that? And then when it comes to fighting back, I would say, I would like to advertise the ideas of classical liberalism, of Islamism, because I understand how wonderful it is to be a part of something bigger than yourself, to have a purpose. I understand how appealing the ideas of charity and so on are. But here's then what Islamism does. You make this shortcut straight to ISIS. Before you know it, you're agreeing with people beheading other people, taking women's rights away, stoning people, being homophobic, all of these things. What do you think of this? And so on the media level, what I would like to see is platforms where we can have these conversations openly, so that I know who's actually coming on this side, who's manipulating who, etc., etc. And based on that, I would say the struggle, you called it the struggle, it's very much short-term, medium-term, long-term, and it is a struggle through institutions. And I hope that this one becomes one of them. and I'm going to leave it at that.